on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. My ass larger, make it go harder. My ass fat, baby, but I need it larger. I need you, baby, to go harder. I like it fat, but I need it larger. Make it larger, make it larger. Baby, big old booties is what you're after. Ho, twerk it like China, twerk it faster. Tearing up shit like a disaster. A booty clapper, booty clapper. She a pro, but I'm a master. Got the shake with my cola cherry Shasta. Soda pop, 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 pop soda. Bowling like 5 bitches in a Range Rover. Come on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. My ass larger, make it go harder. Come on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. Yeah, yeah, wanna fuck with you for a long time. I hope fucking with you is not a crime. Or hot damn, I'ma do the time. Get out and take shots with the lime. Twerk for you like it's my job full time. China dollar love, not hard to find. Love when you beat it up from behind. Got me on the treadmill with it inclined. You love the way my new ass designed. Hopping on my position assigned. Let me out this bitch, I've been confined. I love when he beat it up from behind. Beat it up, beat it up, or beat it up, beat it up, or beat it up, beat it up. Yeah, yeah. Come on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. My ass larger, make it go harder. Come on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. My ass larger. Yeah, yeah, I need a Mac Daddy, matter of fact, a Mac Poppy. They're like a lot of toppy, trying to make it sloppy. I got a hot body and always with a dope posse. My rod is kamikaze, eat a rat like Ozzy. Laughing like Gotti, ho, I stay saucy. He want a freak in the bed, I got some sheets. Check the tat on me, I got some sweets. Any beef, I know where to get them heats. Me and posse deep in them streets, jumping the fuck up out them seats. Wanna freak? Meet me in my sweets. I'm hungry as fuck, I hope you eat them wheats. Come on, baby, go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. My ass larger, make me go harder. Come on, baby, go harder. I need you, baby, to go harder. Don't play with me, baby, go harder. Yeah, 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 yeah.